everybody. It is your host, Suzanne Monk, host of Trump Talk. Welcome again to the show. Welcome again to the show. We have so much to talk about tonight. A lot going on in the world of Trump. You may have gotten a chance to get a look at the news today. It seems that John Boehner, not a Cruz guy, not on the Cruz. John Boehner, it seems during a speech at, I believe, Stanford, John Boehner called Cruz Lucifer in the flesh. And basically said that he was the most obnoxious person he's ever worked with. He used some bad words in there. But basically, what I find very interesting is once John Boehner is in the government, he can be kind of honest about these sort of things. And it is a common problem Cruz has had. People do not like him on the Hill. So I want to say a little shout out to John Boehner, who also mentioned that he was a texting buddy of Trump. The mainstream, the establishment is dividing itself. As you might have noticed as you're watching the news, there are those who are warming to the inevitability of Trump. There are those still in this never Trump delusion. And we are whittling that group off. And in fact, Trump is uniting more and more of the party. Today's comment by John Boehner, a great sign of that. So I wanted to report on that to you guys. Also warming, Marco Rubio. In a recent interview, Marco Rubio chastised the GOP for continuing to try to divide the party, suggested that we need to get behind Donald Trump, who is obviously the will of the people. And if the GOP were to try to take the nomination from Trump with not getting close to 1230 or getting very close to 1237, but not getting the full number, that it would be very divisive and damaging to the party, which it's nice to see Marco come around and to his senses. Not a problem. We're going to get the 1237. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But it is nice to see Marco coming around. Marco does have more delegates in his pocket than John Kasich, who is still in the race. So Marco being behind the idea of a Trump candidacy could really do a lot for ensuring those extra delegate buffer that we're all going to need, even though we have 1237, 1337, whatever we end up having, they're going to try some shenanigans. So having some of these supporters around us, starting to get the establishment, like I said, warmed up to Trump, it's great news. So I know y'all got a chance to probably listen to Trump's foreign policy speech. If you didn't, go on rightsidebroadcasting.tv, rsbn.tv, and take a look at Trump's foreign policy speech. There's a lot of hubbubaloo from the haters claiming it was not coherent and specific, but that is what they say about every Trump speech. It doesn't matter how coherent and specific he is. So listen for yourself and just write down all the details, all the little specifics that Trump actually mentions. Write them down for yourself because there's more and more and more. But you know who was listening? Russians. Russians love Trump. The nation of Russia is feeling very happy to hear that an American president might actually be willing to negotiate, to listen, to talk, to deal with the world at a more rational level. We've had a bunch of presidents. Obama has been horrible for this. We're not dealing with global terror. We're not dealing with our allies or even our not-so-allies to help eliminate that terror and to reduce the effects of terror around the world. And Russia has obviously been a big part of Syria. We're going to have to deal with them in some way. We can't just not talk to them. Okay, we're talking to the Iranians, but we won't talk to Russia. It just doesn't make any sense. So Trump is speaking to that, and the Russian people are very excited about that. So it's an interesting thing. Do a little research on the story about Russia. You'll find that as much as they want to make that into a negative, I know they constantly say any compliment from Putin isn't really a compliment. Russia is a huge nation and a huge force. And nations like Russia and China, these nations that we have troubles with, are the things that we need a strong president for. And who will that president be? President Trump. So I want to talk a little bit about the delegate count. 994 delegates. That's where Trump sits right now. That number might actually grow because they're only putting, they're not putting all of those Pennsylvania delegates into the bucket. They're in fact putting less of them. They're kind of holding it back because if they actually put all those Pennsylvania delegates in the bucket, the 54, like we talked about, Trump will be over 1,000. And they're really trying to hold that number down. So, excuse me, let me clear my throat. So at this point, 994 is the number that they're telling us all across the internet. 994. Look in the next few days for that number to slip above 1,000. We're getting really close. We're down to 247 out of another 572 delegates over the next few races. We are doing great in California. The polls are looking really great in California. The polls are looking really good in Indiana. Nothing much has changed. Some people say they narrow. Some people seem to say they're wider. We haven't really got any new information after this Bobby Knight endorsement, but Trump will be touring and rallying with Bobby Knight all through the week. So we'll have to see what happens with that. In a head-to-head matchup, more head-to-head matchups are evening out. There's a Rasmussen report, head-to-head, Hillary and Trump, 38-38. Trump tweeted it out on a meme, a little pic on Trump's feed. If you are not following Donald Trump, I don't even know what you're doing. Get on Twitter, @RealDonaldTrump, @RealDonaldTrump. Follow him. Get the words straight from the horse's mouth. 38-38. That goes along with the George Washington University poll, 46-43, within the statistical margin of error. So more and more of the head-to-head matchups, I'm predicting, and this is just going to be true, you're going to see it, we're already seeing it, are going to be narrowing. Trump, Hillary. That's what's going to start happening. It's happening now. Great. Let's do a little segment I like to call Trump Reason of the Day. Trump Reason of the Day, everybody. My Trump Reason of the Day, small businesses. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but my husband and I own a small business here in Chicago, and we know the struggles that a small business suffers. The regulations, the costs, the taxes, just the complexity of taxes. At the end of the first quarter, excuse me, spring allergies. At the end of the first quarter, there are 9 different forms of taxes you have to end up filing. And then employment, some of those are for the first quarter, some of those are for the year before, but 9 different forms. The complexity is just strangling our small businesses. We need a simplified business tax code. We need to reduce the business tax rates, not just to bring back our large manufacturers, which it will, and we need those, but also to help small business owners who are the engine of our economy to continue to create more and more jobs. Jobs are what we need. So we're going to bring our jobs back from China and from Mexico, but by lowering the tax rate, by simplifying the tax code, which are all things that Donald Trump intends to do, we will help small businesses succeed where they have been struggling over constant regulation, not to mention Obamacare, which is a huge burden for a lot of small businesses, and they are really struggling, and we need to get in there and help small businesses who have very small margins, mom and pop shops. This is what America was built on. And these are the people that are going to best be benefited by the policies, the tax policies, the lowered and limited regulations, and the rational economic policies of one Donald J. Trump. And that's my Trump Reason of the Day. So I wanted to do a little bit, before we do the rallies and get you updated on what is coming up, I wanted to talk about, recently, you might have heard a little bathroom talk. Everyone got all upset because Trump was doing a town hall and they had this talk about the North Carolina bathroom situation. And Trump had mentioned that Caitlyn Jenner would be allowed to use any bathroom in a Trump facility. And of course, the Trump Nation all got freaked out because what they like to do, they like to distract us with these crazy stories. Well, I'm going to distract ourselves a little bit because Caitlyn Jenner actually did a great little piece on her Facebook page, and I suspect it'll be perhaps featured in an upcoming episode of I Am Kate, which I have on TiVo, so I will know. She, in New York, took a chance, took an opportunity to use the restroom in Trump Tower International. Did a little video of herself. And at the end of that, did a little swipe at Ted Cruz, claiming nobody was molested in the bathroom. So, as we all know, Caitlyn Jenner, she's a Republican. And as we all know, if you might have been following, that's created her some problems because the Republican Party, obviously Ted Cruz, has no support for any LGBT rights whatsoever. So, it's nice to see Caitlyn. It's nice to see Caitlyn getting on the train. Now, she hasn't come out and endorsed, but I suspect with this little bathroom visit, you're going to find more and more Republican Caitlyn Jenner Trump train. So, we're very excited about that. Now, let's get you all informed about the rallies. Of course, there's the Costa Mesa rally tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go ahead and get on Right Side Broadcast, Right Side BN, RSBN, Right Side Broadcasting Network, RSBN.TV. And get on there and check that out. At Sunday, there's going to be a little gap here, but on Sunday, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 4 p.m., Monday in South Bend, Indiana, 7 p.m. So, Indiana, I want you to get your friends out. It's very important. Rally up your friends. Get everybody excited. Get everybody out to the polls. Tuesday is going to be a big day. It's not as important as it might have been because of the Pennsylvania 54. Love you guys. But we still need every delegate we can get. We are 247 away from the 1237. That number is going to whittle down, but we need to just nibble it off. So, Indiana, get out there and vote. Let's break Ted Cruz's will by showing him he can't collude and win in Indiana. Now, also, I wanted to just do a little bit of note. Trump will be on Fox and Friends tomorrow in the morning, their morning show. So they start like at 7 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Check your guide, your local guide. He will be on the morning show with Bobby Knight doing interview with the Fox and Friends. So get a chance to TiVo that. Just TiVo the whole show. And then you can just zoom through it and find the interview and get a chance to see that as well. So great stuff, you guys. We're gonna leave you with what I like to call the best of the Trump train. Before I do that, we do a little segment sometime I like to call How to Elect Trump. Call your leaders. Let's help Trump unify the party. I want you to call your political leaders, call your congressman, call your senator. Tell your Republican congressmen and senators to get on the Trump train, to back the presumptive and obvious nominee. Tell them more and more supporters want Trump. We want Trump. We want you to respect the will of the voters. There's been a lot of campaigns, postcard campaigns, no vote, no Trump, no vote. Keep that stuff up, but also just call them. Just call them and leave a message and let them know you want them to support the front runner, that the will of the people have spoken. We want Trump. It's a great way to help elect Trump. Now, let's talk about the best of the Trump train. There is a wonderful artist by the name of Alex Krasky. We might have talked about him before, but I wanted to show you some beautiful artwork that he did. And it's exciting because, let's get in here. Yes. What does it say? Trump is next. And sure the heck he is, everybody. So I wanted to just give you that little beautiful thing. Go ahead and check that out. Alex Krasky. He has a bunch of beautiful paintings of Trump supporters, celebrity Trump endorsers. You can buy some of the paintings. It's great to support fellow artists and fellow Trump people. So that's our show, everybody. I am Suzanne Monk. As always, we will be doing the Trump Talk. You can contact the show. You can email us at trumptalkus@gmail.com. Or you can contact me. You can follow me on Twitter at Trumpetarian. Follow us on Facebook at Trump Talk US. And if you get a chance, Pick up my book on Amazon, The Semi-Essential Trump Supporters 2016 Election Survival Guide. $3.99. Fun stuff. I'm your host, Suzanne Monk. This has been Trump Talk. There'll be more Trump Talk tomorrow. Until then, everybody, keep on trumping. Let's get a little out music going. A little Trumpy. Bye, everybody. Go Trump.